Who is the wealthiest individual in the world? You're likely to mention Warren Buffett or Bill Gates. Conventional sources concur that you are correct. For more information on the richest persons in the world, consult the Forbes Billionaire List. But what if the list wasn't totally accurate, leaving off some individuals with enormous fortunes? Are they indeed the wealthiest individuals on Earth? Good Lucks is a channel dedicated to inspiring you to extend your perspective, achieve general life breakthroughs, and discover what personal achievements may bring us. The goal of this video is to identify potential candidates for the title of the world's richest person. These candidates may have hidden wealth or may have acquired their fortune illegally. Who are the actual richest men and women in the world who possess hidden wealth or illegal funds? No more delay, let's find out. The House of Saud, $1.4 trillion. The House of Saud has an incredible amount of wealth under its hands, believed to be worth $1.4 trillion. The royal family of Saudi Arabia has mostly amassed its fortune through the sale of oil, which has also given the nation significant political clout and influence in the world arena. The current monarch of Saudi Arabia, Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, is worth more than $1 billion on his own. But like many other families on our list, the family's wealth is dispersed widely and out of sight. Rothschilds, $350 billion to $2 trillion. The Forbes list includes some Rothschild family members. However, the family's wealth as a whole is thought to be $2 trillion. The Rothschilds are probably familiar to you. We're including the family on this list, even if a few members of the family feature on the world's richest lists. Because, well, the amount of wealth the family possesses is a little bit understated. The family money is split up in several ways, but when it is all up, some estimate to be in the trillions. However, it's more likely to be in the $400 billion range. Vladimir Putin, $200 billion. Unofficially, Vladimir Putin is worth more than twice as much as Bill Gates, making him the richest person in the world. But once more, that's not official. Donald Trump may be wealthy, but compared to Vladimir Putin, he seemed to really admire his fortune, which is significant. Since 1999, Russia's president has held both the positions of president and prime minister. Putin and other Russian oligarchs have been busy at the time stealing billions from their nation and stashing them all over the world. In recent testimony, billionaire Bill Browder put his net worth at $200 billion as part of the current Russia-Trump investigation. He would be the richest man on earth. Bashar al-Assad, $122 billion. The estimated wealth of the Assad family fluctuates greatly. We'll stick to the high-level estimate though. Since we have been following the ongoing crisis and devastation in Syria, the majority of us are familiar with Bashar al-Assad, another long-reigning dictator in the Middle East. Assad has essentially used his nation as a personal piggy bank. While official estimates place his fortune at a respectable $1.5 billion on average range, others believe he is far wealthier than that. Like Mubarak, it is hypothesized that Assad has concealed assets totaling more than $120 billion. Hosni Mubarak, $70 billion. He was another Middle Eastern leader toppled in 2011 by the Arab Spring. Hosni Mubarak, who was deposed after serving as Egypt's fourth president from 1981 to 2011, was another victim of the Arab Spring. He served as an officer in the Egyptian Air Force before beginning his political career. He is currently 89 years old and subsists on roughly $70 billion he managed to accumulate during his rule. It's interesting to note that in 2011, an Egyptian prosecutor claimed in a letter to American media outlets that the Mubarak family had far more wealth and assets than was previously known. The prosecutor's estimated total amount? Around $700 billion. Ali Abdullah Saleh, $30 billion to $62 billion. Former Yemeni leader Ali Abdullah Saleh took office following the murder of his predecessor. You're in luck if you still want more wealthy Middle Eastern politicians. Since Ali Abdullah Saleh presided over Yemen far more than 3 decades, he is a good fit. He actually dropped out of elementary school, joined the army at a young age, and finally rose to the rank of colonel, which is an amazing fact about him. He was overthrown during the Arab Spring in 2011, along with other Middle Eastern leaders, but not before amassing tens of billions for his own fortune. Bhumibol Adulyadej, $30 billion. Although the Thai king recently passed away, his $30 billion fortune continues. In the fall of 2016, Bhumibol Adulyadej, the monarch of Thailand, passed away. But due to his enormous riches and the fact that the majority of people are unaware of how wealthy he was, we've decided to include him on our list. During his 70 years on the throne, he amassed his whole $30 billion fortune. The majority of that money came from investments in real estate and other types of property, and it increased significantly as Bangkok grew into a significant global hub in recent decades. Hassan al-Bolkiah, $20 billion. The largest private house in the world is owned by the Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah. It offers 1,800 rooms. The Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah, owns a home with more than 1,800 bedrooms. Whereas many of us are content to find an affordable apartment with more than one bedroom, his $20 billion worth is derived from the sales and production of oil and gas. To give you a sense of the outrageous wealth involved, the man also owns more than 600 Rolls-Royce vehicles. Dawood Ibrahim, $6.7 billion. Dawood Ibrahim is an organized crime boss and a top terrorist figure. We have Tony Soprano here in the US. Dawood Ibrahim is a famous person in India. Ibrahim is a mafia boss who oversees the D Company criminal enterprise. He established D Company in Mumbai in the 1970s, and since then he has amassed about $7 billion, making him one of the wealthiest drug dealers in history. Ibrahim has a lengthy criminal history. He is one of the most wanted criminals in the world and is accused of killing, terrorism, trafficking drugs, and assassination. Kim Jong-un, $5 billion. The arduous and terrible labor of Rocket Man's father and grandpa before him has benefited him. You won't find Kim Jong-un on the Forbes list because his family has earned a fortune by selling off its nation's resources, utilizing slaves, and engaging in cyber warfare. Kim Jong-un has amassed an estimated $5 billion available to him. Despite not being the richest man in the world, he enjoys spending this money on high-end foreign cheeses and alcoholic beverages. However, the majority of his nation suffers from a lack of food and electricity. Hans Adam II, $4 billion. The wealthiest ruler in Europe is a 72-year-old prince of Liechtenstein, who hasn't fantasized about having millions of riches at their disposal and having the title of prince something or other. The goal has come true for Hans Adam II, the Prince of Liechtenstein. One of Europe's few remaining rulers, he is. He currently runs his family's bank, financial portfolio, estates, mansions, and of course, its 400-year-old art collection at the age of 72. Very good. Isabel dos Santos, $3.4 billion. José Eduardo dos Santos, the former president of Angola, has 6 kids from 3 marriages. The richest woman in Africa is his oldest daughter, Isabel, who has an estimated net worth of $3.4 billion. The wealthy elite of the nation who profit from Angola's oil and blood diamond sector make a concerted effort to keep the people in poverty. According to BBC journalist Mary Harper, a considerable amount of energy is spent trying to remove the impoverished from the sight of Angola's hyper-rich. She explains that to distract the poor, the government periodically bulldozes their shacks, keeps beer cheap, and promotes events like concerts and football games. Dos Santos may no longer be the richest lady in Africa. All of these significant government contracts that Dos Santos had been granted by the previous president of Angola have been revoked. Many of the richest people in the world live in dark wealth. Some wealthy people prefer to remain anonymous. They prefer to live in quiet, and money draws attention. Others amassed unsavory fortunes in secret. For instance, drug lords won't be included in the Forbes list. Gangsters and dictators both won't succeed. There is, in reality, a lot of unaccounted money in the world. Putin's net worth is estimated to be approximately $70 billion. But recently, we learned that it might actually be a lot higher. Nevertheless, his fortune is invested in obscure banks and businesses around the world. We rarely hear Gates or Buffett mentioned alongside him. For many people, the same is true. Do you dispute this assertion? Do you have any more recommendations for our list? Post any queries or remarks in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. Click the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video, so that others may view it and be inspired. To make sure you don't miss any new videos about personal development, enable the notification bell as well. Until next time.